Some highlights in my journey was being able to attend placement in person before this whole virus came out. I really enjoyed doing placement in the school for my first year and getting the experience of meeting new children and new people. Lowlights of my journey was having to be online for the past 2 years and also having to teach myself a lot of things that I learned and knowledge that I gained. Some of the self-care strategies I used were writing all my assignments for all my classes on a calendar with their due dates. I would also set reminders on my phone about the due dates that I had that were coming up. Another self-care strategy I have done as well was review all the work for all my classes the week before so that I'm prepared for the upcoming class. I also did not overwork my brain so I would not feel overwhelmed and stressed. Most of my self-care strategies did work, and most of my results showed in the end of my semesters. Some strategies I will continue to use and to avoid burnout is making time for myself and not leaving it for last. I also at nighttime watch TV for about 3 hours and have some fun with my family and talk. Some ways I have coped with stress and pressures that go along with being a full-time student in the college system was me coping with online school for the past 2 years. Some of my stresses were getting used to the new change of doing online school, whereas before we used to be going in person and physically seeing peers and also being able to interact with the professor and be there physically and engage with each other. I felt that the motivation was not there anymore. I wanted to give up. I even found it a bit difficult in the beginning to keep up and keep on task. I even missed going to school in person, engaging with others, meeting new people, being able to see people. I also talked with my family for guidance and advice when I was unsure about a lot of things, or I felt like I wasn't gonna strive with what I needed if I didn't speak to somebody. Some ways I dealt with the dramatic changes that occurred in the world over the past 2 years were by making my workspace more comfortable and changing things around to make me comfortable. I managed to get through the dramatic change by taking it day by day and coming up with different ways of going through the traumatic changes and finding ways to still be happy and comfortable. A challenging time I went through was not being able to attend an in-person placement due to not receiving my police check in a due time. I waited about 2 or 3 months. Then I eventually got an email from them saying that they did not receive my police check and that it most likely have got lost in the mail due to the high volume of applications that they were receiving from the post office. So I went ahead and took it into my own matters and went back to the bank, and I got another police check, another money order, and filled out my police check again and brought it down to the office this time so that I didn't have to worry about it being lost again in transit and not having to hear this happen again. I also let my placement supervisor know and my student advisor so that they were on the same track as me. I received the feedback and support I needed from them, and I got the feedback from my parents as well and my peers. The moment that changed me today is always to talk to others and get their support and advice. Some roles I will want to fulfill in my future is by interacting with others and hearing their opinions and how they feel, because everybody has their own opinion to things and how they feel about situations and what goes on in life, and even like now about the virus. But over my 3 years of being in college, I had some ups and some downs, but I felt that going through those ups and those downs, it brought me to basically the end. Like, I stuck through the thick and the thin, and I still strive to make it to the end. And I have all that experience to talk about and be able to look back on and see how I changed things and how I did things. And yeah, that's my part of my reflective learning assignment. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon or good evening, everyone. I want to talk and express about my 3 years experience being a student in the Child and Youth Care program. So far, I want to say that being in this program has really touched my life, really opened me to see the world differently, especially working with kids, families, and youths. I've been through a lot, so I'm going to share that throughout the video. So first I want to say thank you to all the professors for the amazing work you guys have put in for us, especially for the past 2 years with the whole COVID. I really want to take my time and humbly say thank you. Okay, let's go on. So the first thing is, when I entered to my first year of college, I have no idea what's going to happen. I didn't expect to get this far. It is a struggle, especially had to pack up everything and move to online. First year was an amazing. I think that's basically my only college experience that I would always cherish, just because that's the one where I was in class. Everything was normal. We were placed in groups to do assignments. We were also sent our first placement where we actually went to placement. So that experience would always be forever holding my heart. So that teaches me how to be humble over the last 2 years of being in a CYC program. So I will now go ahead and discuss a few of the highlights that I was able to accomplish being a CYC student. One of those highlights that is a little further dear to my heart is being able to expose to different things. And one of those things are being in placement. Even though, yes, I love my courses, yes, I was able to accomplish so much while doing the courses, being in placement makes you see the program in a whole different way. And I'm like, you see that you could do anything. Once you're working with the youth each and every day, you become stronger, you build experience, you build relationships. You also do this, you do whatever you learn in school. So if you learn about professionalism, you would basically install that skill in you and take it to the placement, basically adapting a new skill. If you learn how to build relationships with the youth, you will take that to your placement and adopt that new skill. So that's one thing I will forever cherish, is being able to, whatever I learn in class, I could take it from class into the work world, and I would literally start using that skill right away. And it helps build me into the better person I am when working with children, youth, and family. One of the lowest point for me being a student in this program is the struggles I face when each semester starts. It takes me like 3 to 4 weeks before I fully get back into routine. And it's a constant struggle. I don't know if anyone has to go through this before besides me, but I have to keep pushing myself. I tell myself this program is amazing. And I could see myself accomplishing so much more like I accomplished the previous semester. But it is such a hard thing for me to do. So what I will do, I will try and work around and see what I could help myself, so I could push myself, so I could be a part of the semester, be on board with everything, not just accomplishing finishing off assignments, learning about the course, or learning about whatever the program is offering within that semester. So please, if you're a student like myself, don't wait till it's like the 5th week figuring out what you learned the first week. Just do the reading. You don't have to push yourself. Just read and learn. Read something in the course shell, and you will learn one thing alone about your course. And then after that, as you keep doing it, applying yourself, eventually you will end up learning everything within the course. And then you won't find yourself struggling to stay in a routine just to accomplish certain things within your course. And that's something I've struggled from semester 3, 4, and 6, 5, and 6. So I just want to say, any youth out there who's going through the same thing, just give yourself time and just read your course outline, read every week your weekly modules, and you will be fine. And apply yourself and ask a lot of questions. That helps. Okay, I will provide something that happened to me during my 3 years being in a CYC program. Okay, I will talk about this experience that recently happened, not too long ago. So this is my last year of college, and this is my last year being in placement. As of now, placement experience is something I adore because I always look forward for what the placement has to offer, or just going and open up to new experiences. So the last semester, my placement was online. And as much as my placement was online, I was so into and excited to start this new placement. The sad part about the placement is that I couldn't get the delivery online as I would get in person. So it was frustrating. It almost makes me want to rethink my whole decision of being in college or being a part of this program. As much as this program is really a unique and challenging and fun and exciting program, it did put me to a dark part in my life, and whereby I had to think, I reached this far, should I give up? Should I just reconsider everything? And something told me, yes, every program that you go through, every time you go back to school or you're in school, you will go through a lot of stuff. So the best thing you do is stay focused. Try and start again. Try and stop and put yourself in a situation where you don't want to be stressed or overworked. So my placement was feeling like that. I feel like my mental health was all over the place. I feel like I couldn't get the help I deserve. I feel like so much things happened to me within that couple of months. And what I did, I just keep going. You just keep going. Keep going. Even if it feels so hard, stop and keep going again. You will reach an end point where you always remind yourself, I got this. I'm so close to finishing, and I want to see myself succeed. So push yourself, no matter how hard the course is, the placement experiences, or whatever, whoever's making it difficult for you, you keep pushing through and you will get there. And before I close out my reflection video, I want to say that working as an upcoming child and youth worker in the future, I want to point out some things I've learned within this program. This program is amazing, as I said, but it also brings out more out of you. Besides me being a CYC student, I also take a part at a side. I take the Indigenous Studies courses. I love those courses. It helps me to see myself in a different way of how I see myself as a CYC. I learned so much in Indigenous courses. It teach me new things about the history, about the people, and the cultures. And when they ask me about the GCC or GCSE, I will use the Indigenous course that I'm doing because that helps me to open up my imagination to learn new things, not just about children and youth, also about people of color, children of color, and the history. So you guys all know that Canada history surrounded by Indigenous is really good to learn about the history of Canada. So if you're working with youths or in a residential home or whatever, and you work in a Indigenous residential home, at least you have an idea of the history behind the people, the culture, and the language. So that's something I would say that is culturally, like something culture I've learned in my program, and something that I always take with me no matter where I go. Okay, and this is the last part of this reflection video. I hope it was helpful for one of the youth who are now starting this program, or whoever's watching this program channel is my professor. I want to say that this program did help me from when I was in my first year. Now I'm in my third year. I've grown so much. It has opened my imagination to learn new things about children, family, and youth. Also about mental health, about different things, about relationships, communication, professionalism, the workforce, everything that I've learned. Also stigma, everything. There's so much more, but I can't put everything in one video. But what I can put in one video is, if you're thinking about going into the CYC program, I think you should go for it because it's an amazing program. It helps build a different knowledge of the outside world when they were youths and children. Remember, we are making a difference. We are fighting, we are advocating, and we are being counselors, and we want the best for our youth. In order for us to be the best for our youth, we have to be the best for ourselves. So always take care of yourself, your mental health. Clean your heart. Make sure your heart is pure, and be open to love all. And love all means be able to open to work with all. So I want to say, yeah, this is my video. I hope it was not too long. It was very straightforward. My thing is just keep going and be yourself and open yourself to learn new things in the program. The program delivery is amazing. So thank you.